Man, I want to talk about two things. One is somebody commented and they said ignore them and it'll go away, or ignore them and I forget, ignore them, ignore them. I wish I could ignore them. How about I put these headphones on you and I turn on whatever you hate the most, and from there. I'm gonna tell you to ignore it, all right? But I'm just gonna play it in your ear, and that's like the leastest little thing compared to what they do. You're talking about a broadcast to your brain, to your mind. So when they talk to you, you're receiving the broadcast, and you literally want to talk along with them word for word for word. Jinx, you owe me a Coke. Jinx, you owe me a Coke. Jinx, how can someone talk word for word, unrehearsed, infinity amount of words? It's because it's a mind control system, and artificial telepathy is a form of mind control. And when they're broadcasting to you, it's impossible to ignore. The best thing I've figured out really is to do whatever you're doing, and if whatever you're doing is entertaining enough, they'll just spectate and they'll be entertained. Therefore, they're not bothering you. You know, if somebody attacks you with an EMF broadcast, like Marcus does me, and attacks your asshole and your ball sack and your eyes, and goes all into your sinus systems, through your ears and up your nose and all kinds of shit, and is very painful and can harm you, and they're about to bust your eardrums with a microwave broadcast, and you're not going to ignore this stuff. So I know that usually people that say ignore it are people that are not really going through what I'm going through. They're not really full-blown artificial telepathy receiving EMF broadcast and dealing with gang stalkers that are controlling mind control broadcasts on a mind control headset. They're actually controlling these broadcasts. Now I want to say one thing that let me find it, because I write little notes, and I was writing notes about every little thing they do, and I quit doing that, but I'll do it again, I'm sure. But when they say something very important, I want to go ahead and write that note down, because sometimes whatever they say, and it's a good idea to always document what they're doing, even if it's just privately, and you don't put it out there like I do. I put my whole life out here, and it was rough at first, and it's still rough, but you know, I remember the first article I wrote on Facebook, and before I did YouTube or SoundCloud or anything, I wrote an article telling everything, and this was back in like 2016, and probably the beginning of 2016, or maybe in the middle, but I wrote this long article, and it was like my entry into talking about this, and it was, I write okay, but a lot of people were like, oh my God, you're crazy and all this stuff, and some of them were gang stalkers, but some people did respond and say, wow, is this really going on? And it was to the best of my ability to explain it to my understanding at that time, and I understood it pretty good, but not anywhere near as good as I understand it now. So now I can write an article and really explain this stuff pretty well, and I do sometimes. But then, you know, it was crazy, but I put myself out there, and I did that, and then I started doing SoundCloud, and when I figured out how to record them, and then I started doing YouTube, and I still write stuff, and I post all the groups, but you know, it was difficult for me. But even if you just do it privately, you want to have documentation. Like, if they talk about breaking in my house or murdering me, first thing I'm going to do is talk about it, because I want everybody to know what's going on and what they're talking about. Let's see. The older one, Marcus's older brother, the one I call 58, because I think he's 58 years old and I don't know his real name. He was on mind control with Marcus, and he blames everything on Marcus. And Marcus does mind control whoever's on with him to attack me. So it's probably true, but still, he did it. And then he said this, but Marcus probably was mind controlling him. But he attacked my, at that point, I think it was like my throat and my eardrum. And it was pretty bad, pretty painful. And I was at work, and getting attacked by a broadcast at work, I mean, it's a pretty horrible situation to be in. But he said, it ain't gonna kill you no time soon, but it sure is fun watching you in pain. Okay, there's a lot that goes along with that statement. Okay, that means that it just goes to show that they're very aware that this torture is causing pain and that it could kill me over time, and that they're intentionally doing this to cause harm, and it shows a lot of intent. And that kind of thing is important, because when they get caught, they're going to, oh God, we're on mind control and I lost my mind and I'm insane and it's all your fault for letting us have the mind control. And they're no, they're just consumed with the power and hate, and they do this stuff because they're horrible people. Because everybody that has this doesn't do this type of stuff, but the horrible ones do. The jealous, nasty, scheming haters, they do it. They do this stuff. So I wanted to share that and talk about what he said, because it does show intent, and it's important to document that kind of thing. Now, the second part of this video, I want to talk about EMF broadcast. And, okay, so one time I was driving, all right, and a few of my first good EMF videos where you could actually see somebody else where they are were when I was driving. And I'm pretty sure I know the reason why. And the reason that it happened, it was nighttime, okay, and there was lights, and the lights glaring off of my windows in the vehicle, they expose that in that reflection of the glare, it shows EMF broadcast. And I've done a lot of things with trying to expose EMF broadcast, but some of the stuff that I've got is in this right here. This is my Samsung washing machine. That's all that is. Okay, but this glass right here is curved. Okay, so sometimes when they're broadcasting, I can see them where they are in this glass very well. And the first couple of times I was getting EMF videos, almost by accident, really. I didn't know that I was getting EMF videos until I watched the videos later. I could see the girl that was my girlfriend at the time that put me on remote neural monitoring having sex with other people. And I could see that in the curved glass of my windshield and my side window. And it was when light was glaring off of those curved glass. So I think, and I could see them a lot of times in this, where they are. And when I guess when the light hits it right at the right angle or whatever. But curved glass seems to be way better than a straight glass. And I think the higher the quality of the glass, the better. Crystal glass has like a refracting quality or something like that. I'm not very scientific with this, but I do know a little bit. Crystal, it creates a rainbow effect and kind of like a prism, and that helps to expose the broadcast because it colorizes the waves and it makes it show up a lot better. So if you could get curved glass and crystal glass or both at the same time, and the right type of lighting, I used to hang a shirt inside, a black shirt inside of this when that was happening, and so it would have a solid black background, and then I could look into this curved glass and I could literally see them where they are. And that's just how the broadcast works. And if you look, I don't know if it's some of the 12 videos that they deleted while I was gone, but I'm gonna have to look into that. I still haven't been able to find my my list of the 1,000 videos that I had at the time, that see which 12 they deleted to compare with what I have now. So maybe that's some of them. But if you look at some of my older videos, you can see there's some with this, and there's also some with the windshield, and you can see in the windshield, you can see the girl doing what she does, the girl that put me on remote neural monitoring, and it's just as I'm riding by and the glare hit it just right, and you could just see her on all fours just getting it, and that's I was like, wow, are you kidding me? I didn't understand what I was even, how I didn't just even get it back then, but over time I learned how the EMF broadcast works, and that was her where she was, and that you could see people where they are, which is different than the holograms they broadcast. Like the video I have of the EMF hologram in my tree, that's different. That's a different type of broadcast. That's them broadcasting a hologram to somewhere else where they can be that hologram, be somewhere else in their mind, like live virtually as a broadcast and be somewhere else. That's different. So, you know, there's different types of broadcasts. And when they're broadcasting to you and they're just on mind control and having these orgies and stuff and they're broadcasting it to you in the right circumstances, you can see them where they are, and lighting and like refracting and curved glass and crystal and prisms and all of these things all of these things play a factor in being able to see the broadcast really well on camera. So it's very difficult. So I don't work on that as much as I used to, but I need to get some really good software like the real Photoshop and start working on that a little more. But right now I'm really busy trying to learn coding and stuff like that, so I can know that, and they won't be able to hide things or take over my accounts and stuff like that, and I can get the website out and all of that. So that stuff's very important to me too. So I got a lot of things in the works, and I promise you guys, I'm telling you the full truth, the real truth. I'm not a drug addict, and I'm not a psychotic mental patient or none of that. It's just not a fact. The fact is, I'm all the way clean person. I'm all the way stable, and I hold down a normal life, and I'm successful at whatever I want to do, and I know what I'm talking about with this stuff. So I promise it's all the truth, and you guys could take my word for it, and I'll stand by that. And time will tell. Time will tell. Nothing outlasts the truth. So this is Kevin Christian. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a happy Thanksgiving.